Hello there gorgeous gamers, and welcome back to Pure Play TV, and we have our review for Serious Sam 4, an old school style shooter that serves as a prequel for Sam's original trilogy of bloody encounters. Well, is it any good? Watch on and find out. Serious Sam 4 is nuts. The opening scene throws you into a huge battle with hundreds, maybe even thousands, of crackhead-looking monsters before eventually downing you and pulling the classic 4 days earlier trope, leaving you wondering just how Sam comes to face off against this massive army of evil. Rewind the clock some 90-something hours and we find Sam in Italy, armed with just his pistol, matrix shades, and some cringe-worthy one-liners. It's like the past 20 years never even happened. To be honest with you, I'm not all that familiar with Serious Sam. I did play them a little bit back in the day, but I was just a kid when Sam was gracing the covers of gaming magazines. Remember them? Yes, I know that there's the Serious Sam collection that's on consoles now, but I've not really had the time to go through them. But from what little I have played of them, Serious Sam 4 definitely feels like a modern extension of the franchise, but without bagging itself down by reinventing itself for modern audiences. It's still a fast-paced, mental, stop-and-you-die shooter, and the humour is still hit and miss. Some jokes stick the landing, others had me wincing from the cringe. Serious Sam 4 takes the titular hero on an action-packed romp through 15 missions that won't blow your socks off for the story content, but they'll have your controller shaking uncontrollably due to the constant barrage of mental alien bad guys. My hands were numb after an hour, and it felt good. Serious Sam 4 doesn't let story get in the way of its chaotic gameplay. Sure, there is a story and a cast worth watching in the cutscenes, but nobody is analysing Sam's character arc here, right? It's all about piling through large arenas, firing rocket launchers at 30-foot lizard monsters, and trying not to get unalived by the suicidal nutjobs with bombs for hands. And that's what Serious Sam 4 does brilliantly. Things do start a little slow, and the first hour was a bit of a slog. Armed with just a pistol, I definitely felt a bit weak to begin with, until I got the shotgun. This is deliberate though. The game drops new weapons of destruction as you progress, and it helps feed that action reward cycle. You can get extra goodies and upgrades by taking on optional side missions. These serve to extend the playtime a little, as well as giving you some cool extras. And being that most of them are typically quick, easy, and not too far off the story beats, they don't feel like worthless add-ons for the sake of being worthless add-ons. Serious Sam 4 has a couple of modes to choose from. You have your story mode that'll take you on a 10 to 15 hour bullet fest, and then there's the survival mode, which you can play alone or online. In my time testing, I couldn't actually get to play online, which is a shame, because alone, I struggled to get through more than 5 or 6 waves. The other modes to choose from are performance mode and graphics mode, and here's where you need to make the right choices. I started my playthrough on graphics mode because I like pretty things. What I don't like is inconsistency, and the frame rate was really inconsistent in graphics mode. With hundreds of flailing monsters and their projectiles bombing around the screen, the game struggled to stay constant, and it felt really janky. This improved a lot by changing over to performance mode, and honestly, the difference in the visuals wasn't that stark. Serious Sam 4 is not exactly a next-gen showcase anyway. Speaking of, there are some other inconsistencies throughout, such as the cutscenes with the late-to-load textures. They only really show up in the cutscenes and not during play, so it doesn't affect the moment-to-moment action, but it does make it a little bit easier to skip the jarring cinematics. Serious Sam 4 is a little bit on the rough side, but it feels like it's keeping with its heritage. That's not to say it feels dated in a bad way, but certain aspects feel deliberately dated to keep the feel that veteran players would expect. All said, Serious Sam 4 is a fantastic throwback to an era of first-person shooters that is slowly fading out of existence, sadly. Think Doom, but with more colour, and there you have Serious Sam 4. And that is the end of this review. Thank you for watching. I do hope you found it enjoyable and informative. And yes, I played on easy mode, also known as Journalist mode. Thought I'd get that in here before someone in the comments does. I'll never get good. If you enjoyed this video, go on down below, hit the like and subscribe buttons, and come back soon for more reviews, previews, and other nonsense. Until then, cheers my dears.